I should talk during these breaks. I have no idea what to say, though.
Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour. Warning. The following podcast is another wasted hour.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Welcome, everybody. It is another episode of Another Wasted Hour. We are talking to you straight from tax day. I know when this goes out, it won't be tax day, but you have to hang with me. This is just the way the power of the internet works. So unfortunately, Victor's not here with us this week because I assume he's doing his taxes. I hope so, because this is the last day he can do it. So, I don't know if he's getting a tax return or not, or if that return is going to be replaced with one ignorant, uninformed, ill-advised, self-deprecating moron ranting about opinions that I have no right to have, which are probably wrong and absolutely do not matter. Our goal here at Another Wasted Hour is to convince you that where we hail from, just outside Washington, D.C., is not just a city of politics and scandals, but one brimming with art, music, and culture, as impossible as that may seem. So listeners, now that you know why you're here, I'm Keith, and with a 500% return on your investment, we have the Pyramid Scheme. Hello, Lisa. Say hi.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how's it going? And we have Darian.
Hello, Keith.
And I said it right.
You did.
Yeah! I had to practice a bunch of times. Welcome to the show. I'm so glad that you're here. We need to tackle something early on. Obviously, we want to discuss this tax thing because that's very important. I noticed every time that I ever typed your band's name, I typed it incorrectly. And every time I typed it correctly, my computer said, "You're an idiot. You're typing it incorrectly." What is happening? Why? You have Pyramid Scheme, but instead of a Y, you have an I. What happened? Did they run out of Y's? Is it one of those things like with the movie theaters where you have to like try and make a 3 into an E or
an A into a V?
Yeah, exactly. What occurred?
I think it was mostly about the symmetry of the word pyramid. We wanted to keep everything over the line. So,
Okay.
Yeah, the Y was just kind of forcing it under, and it just, I'm a typography nerd, so I just had to change it.
Well, that's a relief, because what I thought was maybe there's another pyramid scheme with a Y somewhere else, and you were like, this is going to get awkward. Make it an I.
We are the one true pyramid scheme.
Yeah, that is true. And this, what it makes it is a little bit more Illuminati, right? Because now it's pyramid with an I, which is that symbol that everyone's like, oh, that's the Illuminati.
We can't confirm or deny.
Yeah. So now we know that is definitely maybe not the truth. So speaking of pyramids with eyes, there's one on the back of the dollar bill, and we're sending a bunch of dollar bills to the federal government for tax day. Did you guys do your taxes?
Yes.
Nice. Good job, Lisa.
I started them, and I'm filing an extension when I get home.
Right when you get home. Right. Are you just going to hit the button at like 11:59?
Yeah,
probably. Just to see if you could do it.
I never filed an extension late, so I don't know what that means.
I don't know what happened. They probably get mad. I would assume that they would. But now I am going to put the fear of God into you for a moment, because I don't know if you've kept up with the news today, but apparently the IRS website is down. Did you hear about this?
No, but
Yeah.
I don't think that impacts.
I don't know if you're like hitting a button on their website to get an extension. That could be bad. Something about like a hard drive failure, which is weird. So by trade, I'm actually a web designer or web developer, right? So I know a good bit about computers. The fact that there's like a hard drive that went down and it killed the IRS, that's really concerning, because they should probably have a backup somewhere. And it seems like they have a lot of money, so I don't know why they're not doing this, but you might want to go a little earlier than 11:59 and just test the buttons.
I think we should use that same excuse when we're trying to do what we need.
Right.
Our hard drive went down.
Yeah, my computer, the dog ate my computer. And I don't think they'd accept it, but apparently it's okay if they do it. So there's a lot of people probably very nervous right now. Have you ever stood in the post office line on tax day? Have you done that?
Well, I did go today.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah.
Was there like a swath of people?
There was more than usual. Yeah.
I think I remember like seeing like on the news, there were people a few years back, and like they had people standing like at the driveway taking people's envelopes, and there was a line of people inside trying to get it in. It was like just bedlam. So I went yesterday and did it. It wasn't so bad. So today, this is like the Black Friday of tax, right? I mean, it's IRS's Black Friday.
But that's kind of like old school, right? To go to the post office and do it.
Yeah, but I think we have a lot of old people, right? That are just like, I don't know about this internet. There are probably, I mean, the fact of the matter is there's probably still people alive who didn't pay income tax at one point, right?
Absolutely.
Because when did that happen? Was it the 40s? When did they enact it? We're not that smart. Okay, that's fine. I don't know either, so it's not going to look bad on you.
I turned off my phone. No Wikipedia. No nothing.
Nothing. Oh my goodness, we're lost. We're just afloat in an ocean with no wind at this point. So at some point they didn't have it, and then they enacted it, and a bunch of people were like, "I'm not paying it because that's ridiculous,"
right.
And then they like went to jail. But I think they have a really solid point. If they were like, "I was born, I didn't pay it, and now I don't want to." If you're born and it's already there, you have to be like, oh, that's part of it. So those might be the people like at the post office who are like, well, if I have to do this, I'm going to piss off as many people as I can while doing it.
This new fad called income tax.
Right. It's passing.
Yeah.
It won't be around very long.
Just like rock and roll.
Do you usually get a return? Like, do you usually get money back, or do you usually owe money?
Listen, let me just say, this was the first year I was stoked to file mine because I had instruments to buy with my return.
Nice. See, that's the thing. Everyone tells you that really what you should do is like put up all your exemptions so that you owe money at the end, because it's better like fiscally, because you get that money, you invest it, you make money on the money, and that's what the government's probably doing anyway with your money. But see, you're like me, right? Where it's like, I want a little bit of Christmas, like in May, where I'm like, oh, money! I didn't even know about this money. I'm going to buy a PS4 with it, or
exactly,
something totally frivolous. That's what I'm spending it on.
/ educational. Strike all this from the record.
Right. Very integral to everything that I do.
Absolutely. I'm looking to give back to those around me.
Right. Yeah. Charities. Yeah. All charities is where it goes to. Do you know what instruments you're going to get?
They've already been purchased.
They've already been purchased. What did you get?
Well, just accessories here and there. Nothing big.
So just I assume strobe lights.
Yeah, strobe lights, some black ice for some smoke, some eyeliner,
right.
All the essentials.
All the essentials. Yeah. What do you play, by the way?
I play guitar.
You play guitar, and Lisa, what do you play?
I play guitar as well.
2 guitars. Do we have other members as well?
We do.
Okay.
We have drummer.
Say
and
hi,
a bass
hi to your
player.
drummer. We'll wave.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Andrew.
Hi, Howard.
Hi, Howard.
Hi, you lazy bastards who didn't come to the show. No, that's
to be fair.
Yeah. It's much better with a couple of people.
They're busy bastards.
They're very busy with things that we aren't busy with. They're uppity like that. I'm very busy. Well, we would have loved to have had them, but obviously they've got more important things to do. They're probably doing their taxes. That's what they're doing, right? They were like, oh no, I've got my agent called and I need, and then they're just like writing stuff.
Keeping it legal.
Yeah. So very cool. So you got guitar accessories which that might be the most accessorized instrument. What do you think? Either that or drums.
I would agree with that. I was just going to save my own ass and say that I was putting money into, the gig.
Into the absolutely. Yeah. No, you're because. What were you saying?
I thought you were going to buy me an SG with your tax return. So
maybe
thank
I
you in
did.
advance.
Check the mail tomorrow after tax day.
Oh, you might have a surprise.
I'm just, of course, joking it. For those of you guys, I don't expect a guitar.
So for anybody who's listening, if you'd like to buy Lisa a guitar, we can send her information over, and just send that to Lisa so that she can play it, and she might thank you.
And write from Darien on the box.
And I will post a picture of which SG I want.
Yeah.
What color, the exact specs on Twitter.
What color would you get?
I'd like a black one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a good color. Yeah, for a guitar.
I have a lot of gold things that I need to accessorize with a black guitar. Speaking
of black things, this could get awkward real quick.
Yikes.
No, you guys are playing a show at the Black Cat on Tuesday, May 1st, which is down in Washington, D.C. Great venue, by the way. Have you guys played there before?
Yes.
It's awesome, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, it's so fantastic. And so you guys will be there with the rest of Pyramid Scheme, even though they're very busy. And you guys have a new EP coming out, and we have a track from that EP. The EP is called Get Rich Quick 2, TOO. So also get, in addition to making great music, I assume, right?
As well.
And then we have the track Bandwagon Jumpin' Machine, probably with a G, Jumping Machine. I said it like I was in the South. The jumping machine.
Folksy.
Everybody get on the jumping machine. So people can grab that. You can also find out about other shows that are coming up from the Pyramid Scheme. I was going to say Pyramid Machine. That's a totally different band. www.pyramidscheme.com. Don't forget, do not put a Y, put an I. I know you'll get a squiggly line, but it's right. Just trust us. So excellent. So you guys ready to do this? We're going to now take off into the wild, wild world of Another Wasted Hour. Speaking of which, a little later on, we're going to play a snippet of Bandwagon Jumping Machine. If you are just chomping at the bit and you need to hear that whole track right now, stop your audio recording playback machine that you have right now. Go to the fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, listen to it in entirety, come back, and you will be able to catch us just in time for the weather report. So this is very important. You guys are obviously musicians. You are now tax experts as well, because it was tax day. We're going to throw you into another role. This role is the editor-in-chief of a brand new publication. All right. I'm going to, as your loyal and faithful reporter, I'm going to throw some stories at you. I'm going to pitch them, try and see if you guys will pick up what I'm laying down. And we'll see what makes it into your publication, whether or not it's news, maybe where in the publication it is. Don't forget at the end, though, since everyone's going to be really excited about this publication, we're going to need a name for it so they can find it on the newsstands, if there are still such things as newsstands. All right. So without further ado, let's start from the top. This is a pretty good week. I say that every week, but this week is pretty good. You guys are musicians. I think this is going to be in your wheelhouse. Finish this phrase. All right. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already.
Mom spaghetti.
Yes, you got it. Well, here's the news. If you lose yourself at Coachella this year, you won't have to walk 9 miles to find that the real Slim Shady food stand up in a trailer parked out around the outside selling, you guessed it, Mom Spaghetti. He has a stand that will be selling spaghetti. May I suggest the spaghetti sandwich? It is between 2 pieces of garlic bread and featuring mozzarella wheels as topping. This pasta panini is so good it'll make you want to punch your ex-wife. Yeah. So, is it news?
I'm going to have to say this is news, because the people need to know if you're going to be spending, 2 weekends in the Coachella Valley?
Yeah.
Spaghetti isn't the thing you want to eat.
That's not what
We've got to be sensical. Right. It's hot. It's sweaty.
That's a lot of napkins that are needed.
That is a lot of napkins. That's a lot of porta potties that are needed. Spaghetti sandwiches are not the thing to eat in the valley.
So what you're saying is, do not do this.
Do not do this, which is why this is the perfect news story.
Right.
The people need to know.
What you're saying is, hey guys, this exists. Don't you dare go to it.
Right.
All right. I like it. That was a different take. Yeah. Do you agree, Lisa?
I could see it as a good moment on Twitter.
Okay.
As a news story.
Person loses bowels in the middle of Coachella set.
Right. Insides fall out.
Yeah.
That's what we'll call it.
That's pretty much what I would click on.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. It's like that movie, Inside Out. It's the same kind of concept.
That's exactly what
it's animated. So it's for the kids. All right, cool. So we got one already. We've already got a flyer. That's our news flyer. We're slowly going to make this into a pamphlet. All right, next up. You may have heard of a boat show, right? You've heard of a boat show. Seen an ad perhaps for a car show, right? Those exist. Maybe even attended a home and garden show. All right, that was a long shot. But you've heard of them. How about a funeral show?
Ooh.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring to it, which is why they call it a funeral fair. That's way better, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Funeral fair, where they practice balloon animal taxidermy, I assume. And the funnel cakes are burned to ashes. Although it's just like a normal carnival where you aren't going to win any of the games. But They do have fun rides like trying out a brand new 3D printed, soon to be open sourced Death Pod. Yeah. So it's called the Sarco. It's short for sarcophagus. It is a 3D printed machine invented by Australian euthanasiast. I'm going to call it that. He's an enthusiast and a about euthanasia. No, he's a euthanasia activist, Philip Nitschke, I think is how it's said, and a Dutch designer, Alexander Bannock. It comes with a detachable coffin, very convenient, and it's mounted on a stand that contains a nitrogen canister. You probably see where this is going. It's for the person who wants to die. Presses the button and the capsule is filled with nitrogen. She will feel dizzy for a little bit, but then will rapidly lose consciousness and die, said Niski. The Sarco was a device to provide people with death when they're wishing to die. So this is very exciting. You'll be able to actually pull this down from the internet and print it on a 3D printer. I guess a gigantic 3D printer.
That was my question. How are we getting?
I didn't get the details on that. I should be a better reporter. Maybe it's in little pieces and you put it together like
assemble
Legos.
Your own death kit.
Yeah, so by the end of it, with all the tiny pieces, you probably want to die at that point. Anyway.
By the end of it, you realize that you have the cunning to build this amazing mechanism, and you suddenly have the will to live.
So you're like, I have a skill now. I have something. I could get a job.
I can be a tradesperson.
Yeah. Maybe that's the whole trick. It doesn't even work.
Yeah.
I know part of the trick
is
you're so in debt from all of the 3D printing material, and then you're part of ingrained more into the capitalistic network.
Oh my God.
And then that's the whole thing.
Oh my God. Illuminati, it's back.
Yeah.
I like this is going to be a conspiracy theory version of Another Wasted Hour.
You are being pyramid schemed.
Yes. All right. So I think it's innovative. It's a little dark and scary. Is it news?
I'm going to say I would go, but I don't think it's newsworthy.
Would you try it out?
Well, I would go to the fair. It's like, what? Can you get a lottery to like win a coffin and stuff like that?
I don't know. Yeah. Can you sign up for the mailing list? Yeah. Just in case you need one. Now, I did hear that their booth had a virtual reality headset experience. You could experience
of dying.
What it's like being in the death pod while you're waiting to hit the button.
That sounds like an anxiety attack.
Doesn't it? It sounds horrible.
The simulation of death without actually dying seems like just too much to handle for the cognizant mind.
Yeah, maybe so. What do you think?
Well, the thing I like about this story or this fair.
Yeah.
So I don't like it as a story, but I like it as a fair, is that I would go assuming that there wouldn't be long lines.
That's true. That's why you're not printing it as a story, because you don't want other people to find out about
Exactly.
it. All right, fair enough. Not in the publication. Next item up for bid. A company in Mumbai was shut down this week, and when it was discovered they were dumping untreated dye into a river. How did they figure it out? I'm glad you asked, even though it was me asking. I'm glad that you put it in my head so that I would ask it. Apparently, stray dogs suddenly started turning up robin's egg blue, which, as it stands, not a naturally occurring dog color. So people were suspicious. They were able to track the dye to its source. I like to think of this as basically a real life episode of Blue's Clues. And like one of the Steve episodes, not the bullshit like Joe episodes. Yeah, like original Blue's Clues.
Yeah, we only acknowledged before Steve went to college.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. So McGruff the blue crime dog figured out that this was ruining the environment, and the environmental agency went and shut them down. So it's a feel-good story, and there are blue dogs. Is it news?
It's news.
You can't just put your thumbs up on the radio.
I didn't want to overtake this one, so yeah.
Oh no, just step all over him. He's waiting for it.
No,
he wants it.
Well, for those of you at home, I put my thumbs up to say yes, I agree it's news.
Hashtag thumbs up.
Because the pictures are going to be good.
They are pretty good. I'm going to put this up on Facebook after this episode comes out. Go check them out. It's an amazing color for a dog. I kind of want to get a dog just so I can make it a blue dog.
Well, Robin's Egg Blue happens to be my favorite blue, so I'm actually into this.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Now, this will be disappointing for you and I, but probably really good for everybody else listening. The dye is not permanent. So the dogs will end up going back to their light color, their white color.
No, we're going to keep painting these dogs.
We're going to go to India and just
blue.
Spray paint them from time to time. Yeah, blue dog, like it. All right, excellent. So that's it. We made that in. We've got 2. We're in a pamphlet mode at this point. All right, let's move on here. So this is the last of the bigger ones. I kind of pitch things, then we'll have kind of a rapid fire after this. But this one really struck me. Here's the headline. Woman declines to sing national anthem at minor league game because she cannot bring her gun. This is a real article that I read, which made me think, here are the things that I think we need to suss out. First, what neighborhood is this stadium in? Because I've never gone to a game where I was like, I just need to make sure that I'm packing, right? And she is aware that those are baseballs and not skeets, right? I just want to make sure that that's... Like, I know that you could prevent like a home run if you've got a really good aim, but that's not actually legal in the game of baseball. And I hope somebody has explained to her, like, that although it's in the lyrics, there probably won't be any active bombs bursting in the air. So she could probably calm down just a little on that. I don't know. It's interesting because we have Colin Kaepernick who won't get hired, presumably at least partially because he knelt during the anthem. This lady wants to like Annie Oakley, the Star-Spangled Banner, and politely has dismissed herself like, no, I can't do it. Now, let me clear some things up. I want to be, as unbiased as I can. She is a licensed gun owner who has the legal right to conceal carry the weapon. She wants to forego her lifelong dream of singing the national anthem because that stadium that she attended for years is installing metal detectors. And I support her right to do that. Right. I think that that's something just like kneeling during the anthem. You should, if you feel like your gun rights are being deteriorated and that's important to you, go ahead. Right. That it's America. You're allowed to protest. Fantastic. I would like to mention that the stadium has never allowed weapons on the premises since it opened, which makes this a little awkward because she's only now not going to the stadium because now they have metal detectors and she can't have her gun. So she's had her gun anyway, despite regulations. So that's a little weird. I'd also maybe suggest that she not pick her kids up on school grounds because that's going to get weird. And I'd love to know the bank she uses because she seems to have a really hard stance on these things. And there are some places that legally you just can't actually have your gun. So is it news?
I've got to ask, where did this story take place?
That's a good question. I'm going to pull that up. I should have had this.
Was it outside of Texas?
I know it wasn't.
I was going to say Alabama, Texas.
If it isn't, Nevada. It is Nevada. Mm-hmm. Yeah. A Nevada minor league baseball game. So more surprising, perhaps, than Texas. You'd be like, I'm surprised there aren't any guns with the seats. Right? You just under the seat, you have your gun. It's a home run. Bang, 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 bang. Woo! Love baseball. So everyone just, they go down with they're like, hot dogs, beer, guns. Right? Ammunition.
Holsters.
Oh, I am running low. Yeah, give me some of that ammunition. So yeah, does it make the publication?
I'm thrown because I was expecting this to be in Texas. So what do you think?
So as a rule in my publication, I would say, I'm going to say mine, even though it's our publication.
You're owning it now.
I don't like to usually empower attention seekers. And I feel like this woman, she's red flagging as an attention seeker.
Are you for either side? Are you trying to just stay out of kind of the politics in general? Or do you not like this particular lady? Because I think both of those are valid answers.
I don't like this lady. She sounds unstable, and I wouldn't. Right. I don't want her to get the attention she's probably seeking from like she's supposed to sing, right? So it's like,
Sure.
I'm going to get some attention, but I want more. It's just like one of those things.
Right.
So I'd say nix the story.
Nix this story.
Keep it for the Onion.
Okay.
Because it
Fair.
sounds like an Onion or a hard time
Fox
story.
News.
Or Fox News.
AKA
Yeah.
The Onion.
The Onion Part 2. The Onion 2, TOO. So, all right. So not in there. Would you have put a Colin Kaepernick kneeling one in there? That's a really tough question, right? Because now we're seeing like attention on the other side of things. But, I think there's a valid point, right? I don't know.
I would have, but that's an old story already.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
I would
absolute.
have back in the day.
That makes sense. Okay. All right. So on to our kind of lightning round. So I'm just going to throw some headlines at you. If you have questions, feel free to answer. I might not have the answer for you, but I might. And you let me know if you think it's, clickbait enough to kind of make it into the publication. Headline, just in, guys. This is very important. Australians struggle to pronounce the word Australia correctly.
Story.
Australia, yes.
Yeah, apparently it is Australia. That's, with a Y instead of an L. Or an I, maybe it would be in your case.
I can't even enunciate that.
Australia.
I
Welcome to
refuse.
Australia.
I refuse to
Good
say
night,
that.
mate. We're in
Australia.
Australia. No?
Nope.
Not doing it.
I will never say that.
All right. If you ever go on record saying it, I'm coming after you. All right. So in. Is that right?
Yeah, and with a clip, like an audio clip.
Just of them in repeat going, Australia, Australia.
Yeah, this
Australia.
is the front page story.
Make it auto load, right? So
We
as soon
can-
as you get there, just send it over and over again.
Embed it from Google Translate or whatever you have for them.
I wonder if it would know the difference. If it would be like, they meant Australia. Would you like me to translate this from Australian? All right. Let's see. Next one. Oh, in a leaked memo, Apple warns employees to stop leaking information. That worked out, huh? Seems like it always happens that way. Hey guys, we need to stop all the leaking out there. So is it news? We did this on the Trump administration too. Remember there was a leak of a document that said people have to stop leaking things.
Right.
And I love those. It's
The
like,
beautiful irony.
yeah, it's like my dad used to have a ring that was from was the Masons, and somebody once, it wasn't his, it was like his dad's, right? And he liked his dad, and his dad had passed away, so he wore his dad's ring, right? And a Mason once came up and said, it is against Masonic law to wear that ring unless you're a Mason. He's like, yeah, but I'm not. So
What you gonna do about it?
that's Masonic law, and I'm not that. So
Yeah.
thanks for letting me know. Right. And so it's like one of those, you can't leak things. I leaked it. Now what?
It happened.
Yeah. So is it news? Should we put it in?
What do you think?
I like it because I like seeing the screenshots of the emails that go around
Oh,
that
yeah.
you get from corporate.
Oh, yeah. Those are always great.
See how they really think.
Then you know. Then you know not to work there, right? All right. So that's it. We got a couple. These are going fast. This is good. All right. 5-story blue penis. I'll pause there for a second because it just needs a pause. 5-story blue penis causes uproar among Stockholm residents.
I saw this blue
You did.
penis
You saw the blue penis.
on a story that, it was circulating yesterday. And
Yeah.
they were wondering, is it going to go down? Is it going to be like the one in New York, the
Depends
big
how
red
old
one?
it is.
And I was just
If it stays
wondering,
up or not.
did she paint this from a dick pic or what was she painting from?
Yeah. So apparently it she thinks of it as an homage to the one in New York. It's called Fuck the World. Maybe not as poetic as you might think, but apropos, I suppose. But yeah, she said Falk Holt is the artist. She said that she's the unveiling. She hoped that her blue penis would be better received in Stockholm than the similar pink one, which was smaller, in Manhattan's Lower East Side in December. The New York work was painted over within 3 days instead of the intended 3 weeks because of complaints. So she was hoping that this would be different in Sweden. We'll see.
Was this a sanctioned piece? Because I can imagine, you see the process of someone painting a large penis. You could stop them if you want.
Right.
Instead of just choosing to be outraged once they're done, once they get to the tip.
I think what you start with is like, you start with leaves at the top, right? And then you work your way down, and then you just paint over the leaves at the last second. And then it's like, penis, right?
Yeah.
It's just, at first it's just like, oh, that's a trunk for a tree. Oh, damn it.
Surprise phallus.
Right. Yeah. I like to think that it was like disguised to begin with, and then they just pulled off like the stickers or something that made it something else. No, I believe it was sanctioned because it took weeks to do, and then it was unveiled, and everyone went, shit. Like, of all of the bits that you could put on a building, I understand where the neighborhood's going on this, because of all of the human bits, it's kind of the ugliest of the bits, isn't it?
Hey, that's subjective.
It is subjective.
It's extremely subjective.
But if you put boobs up there, we're like, no, that's cool.
Subjective.
Right? When we like, yeah. I know gay guys that don't like women and still like boobs. And they're like, no, those are cool. Those are really awesome.
I think I would appreciate a nice penis painted on a wall.
Yeah? You think so?
Yeah.
I'm concerned because neither of these penises have balls. So that means that at some point they were cut off, right, and placed on the wall.
Which is another epidemic in itself.
Violence.
Yeah.
Penis violence. Yeah.
And then it's too bad it wasn't Robin Blue. That's the problem I had with it.
Exactly. That's the real crime.
Right. Yeah. My God, that would have been beautiful.
I would have.
It was just bring a tear to your eye. Look how beautiful.
Some nice
that thing
detail, the Robin's.
A little darker blues for the veins. So is it news?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Bring on the pictures. Bring on the pictures of Stockholm, which I've never actually seen before, that neighborhood.
No, but I hear they have a beautiful syndrome. That
I couldn't get it out fast enough.
I'm a professional. I'm sorry. I'm out ahead of you. All right. Last but not least, this might be my favorite of the week. Report of tiger running amok in Manhattan turns out to be raccoon. This is how little people in New York know about wildlife, right? It's just so much cement everywhere.
There's a scale difference happening there that should have negated one of the two.
They were
instantly.
just like, it's moving. It kind of has stripes.
It's a tiger.
I know. It's a tiger. Right? Just diving into your house. There's a tiger in our garbage.
We need more zoos in New York because this is terrible.
Right. There was a post on Twitter from someone who I can only assume is named Schwax, SHWAX. I don't know what that stands for. Who said, "You're going to tell me that my roommates and I in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, were all rudely awakened by a helicopter overhead because some idiot in Washington Heights mistook a raccoon for a motherfucking tiger?" Where do you start? Like, I don't know. So, like, if I saw something and I wasn't sure, I wouldn't start at tiger.
Well, there's a 1% chance if it's 2 a.m., it's dark, you're in New York City or Washington Heights, and you just see eyes reflecting at you from head on. The fear could, you could immediately jump to a tiger. But if you see a single second more of it, you'll quickly realize. So maybe they just saw the eyes and they ran. Screaming tiger.
But it's a tiny tiger at that point, right?
Tiny eyes. A tiny-eyed tiger.
It's just really close together eyes.
Yeah, cross-eyed tiger. One exists and they thought they saw it.
Full-size tiger, really close together eyes.
Beady close eyes.
That's horrifying. No wonder they called the police. There's a really creepy tiger outside. I don't... Like, if I'm on the phone and then, like, there's something outside, it's got glowing eyes... I don't know what it is, and they're like, "Can you describe it?" And they're like, "It's probably a tiger. It's not the thing that's going to come."
Hang up.
Right. First of all, I'm in New York, right? So my first thing would go like, "It's a fucking giant rat." That's the first place I'm going, and then second would be like, "I just don't know." So send somebody here because I am not a zoologist, and so I can't identify this thing. But no, they skipped over Chupacabra and Chupacabra. And went straight to tiger in the city.
Rational.
Yeah, no. Everyone went, yeah, no, that's probably it. Yeah. All right, so is it news?
Local news. Keep it on the the pamphlets
on
that
a
they
need
put
to
on
know basis.
Right. I would have put it in like pets for sale.
Yeah.
Right.
Tiger.
Yeah, you have blue dogs and tigers for sale. If anybody wants to pick one up, they're free. All right, excellent. So we've made it through. You guys have, for the first time ever, been the commander-in-chief of a brand new publication. Or, all right, editor-in-chief. Either way.
It's a publication about animals and penises.
That's animals have penises. So it's all penises, really.
Yeah.
And coffins. No, we're not doing the coffin. We're just going there to experience the coffin and then put penises in it. All right, so now the big reveal. Everybody's just chomping at the bit to get this now in their hands because these are really good articles. They go to their newsstand. What do they ask their newsboy for?
Fear and phallics.
Fear and phallics, which I think it might be the same thing. That might be redundant.
Yeah. Which is why it's the perfect name.
It is. All right. So fear and phallics, everybody. If you would like to go pick this up at your local newsstand, I'm going to write that down so that I can do it. You can go check out the brand new publication, Fear and Phallics, including a lot of phallics.
Well, Keith, the question is, if we Google that right now, what will pop up?
Probably phallics. I mean, I see what the pun is there.
Yeah.
It's a
Viagra.
phallics with a F, though, right? Fear and phallics.
We could keep that on brand with misspelling things. Yeah. I think so.
Phalanx. Fear and phalanx.
Phallics.
All right. So great. You guys did. How did you feel? Do you feel like you did?
Feels good.
Yeah, I
Feels
like
good.
this news.
So excellent. Then maybe you'll leave here and actually launch your own network. And this could be a new thing.
Yeah.
And then just all the commercial spots in between are just all pyramid scheme.
You figured it out.
We'll be right back. Here's a little pyramid scheme. And then more news after this. So speaking of pyramid scheme, that's you guys. You guys are a pyramid scheme. At least half of it.
That is us.
Right? And you guys, you brought a track for us. It's called Bandwagon Jumping Machine. So do you want to tell us a little bit about this track and the EP that it's on called Get Rich Quick 2? Sure.
So this one is, we wrote this last fall and we recorded the EP in December over the course of a few weeks. And it's 5 songs. And the song in particular is, I'm trying to think. Do you want to hear what it's about?
Sure. Tell us what it's about.
Sure, it's about bandwagon jumpers.
So the people so when a team is doing real well or there's some success somewhere, they jump on that, right? Is that?
Yeah.
Or are you thinking of actual just a wagon that people are jumping on and off of?
I'm thinking Texas style, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
no,
yeah.
actually,
Covered wagons.
A little bit of everything. Yeah, just people who kind of float the news, so kind of going for the news thing.
Okay. So whenever they see something like gaining speed, they're like, now I'm on that side. I'm with that person because that person seems popular. And you don't like them? Okay, now I'm going over here. I got you. So what type of music would you guys say that you do? Like if you went to like a record store, which corner of the record store would it go if record stores still existed?
The dope corner.
The dope corner.
I
like
would say face melting corner.
A face melting dope corner. I mean, that's where I would go to get my music. That's definitely.
It's also a place where you can purchase other paraphernalia. And
if you know how to ask.
And also find out about all the conspiracies that are going on, right? I'm sure they have like Wednesday meetings where you just pass around theories. So is this particular tune kind of enigmatic of what you guys do? Like, is this like a more of a pyramid scheme like tune in terms of what your sound is, or is this something of a departure from the other things that you guys do?
I'd say this collection of songs are pretty eclectic. So
yeah. So you kind of bounce around a bunch of different places. So if somebody like picks up this EP and has like ADD, they're just set.
Yeah, it's like a pack of Starbursts, different color.
If they're all red. Wait a minute. This is awesome. Okay, so let's take a listen to this. We've got a short clip we're going to do here. If you want to listen to the entire track, fast forward to the 1 hour mark of this show, and you can listen through. We won't talk over it or anything. You can come back here, maybe in like here, but plus 20 minutes or 20 seconds, and you'll hear us starting on to other things of this great show. So here is the song Bandwagon Jumping Machine.
Days and 40 You think it all sounds the same, but I know that you're gonna get it soon.
I think what I love most about this band is there's this sultry feel to it. There's something like really alluring, like it draws you in. So it's not like you're, a lot of like your standard kind of rock or pop or any of those types of things. A lot of times it's like in your face and it's like, it's attacking you that way. This kind of it like tempts you to kind of come into the song. Now, saying that you guys are face melting and dope, I'm assuming that some of the other songs are maybe a bit more in your face. But I think this is a really neat kind of dynamic to kind of like seduce someone into the music.
Yeah, we're pulling you in like a fine perfume.
Yeah, I like it. What smell would this have?
Bergamot, sandalwood.
That's definitely sandalwood. Yeah, there would be some burnt umber. So that's very cool. And how long have you guys been together as a band?
As Pyramid Scheme for, since the Q4 of 2017.
Q4, keeping it corporate.
Yeah.
Nice. So fairly recently. So
Yeah.
you guys have been able to put together, is this the debut EP for you guys?
It certainly is.
So you're able to put together an EP real quick and have music that's already kind of matured just months into it, essentially. Where'd you record at?
We recorded at Inner Ear Studio in Arlington, Virginia.
A great place. Did you work with Don?
Definitely.
He's
Dawn.
awesome, isn't he? Mm-hmm. I love all the pictures on the walls and everything. For those that don't know, Inner Ear Studios is just a legend in the DC area because back in I guess it's the 80s, 90s, or early 90s, late 80s, somewhere in there is the DC hardcore stuff. DC was world renowned for DC hardcore. That was kind of what was the export of DC music. So we had things like Fugazi, Minor Threat was kind of part of that, Q and Not You, Bad Brains, a bunch of bands all like that, kind of post-hardcore kind of thing that was happening. And so many of those albums all produced and recorded at In-Ear Studios. If you watched, what is it, Dave Grohl, where they did the Sonic Highway? The one they did in DC, at the end, they're playing like a song in a studio. That's Inner Ear. So it's pretty darn famous, but it's super down to earth and low key. And Don, who's done all of this amazing work, is the nicest guy you'll ever meet, and just loves music and working with people. So I'm glad you got to experience that. We did some work with him too. He's just awesome. So very cool. Great tune. Again, if anybody wants to listen to that entire tune, fast forward to the 1 hour mark and you can listen to that. You can also check out the tune live Tuesday, May 1st at the Black Cat in Washington, D.C. I assume you're going to play this song, right?
Definitely.
Among others.
Maybe.
Oh, keeping it.
If you're nice.
Yeah. Depends on, you'll have the tip jar out, and if it gets full enough, maybe. Yeah. You can check out more shows and more music from Pyramid Scheme at www.pyramidscheme.com. Remember, that is with an I and not a Y. I know that'll throw you for a loop, but that's how the Australians pronounce it. So without further ado, let's move on to Please God, Just Get One Right. So Pitches Be Crazy, they were here last week. They are a cappella group. You can tell just from the name, because a cappella groups always have pun names, it seems like. So they really enjoyed their time here. Probably not. That was probably me just overstating it. I believe they had their theme was the America's Cup. Are you familiar with the America's Cup is?
Not at all.
Yeah, they weren't either. It is a competition of sailing. It's a sailing competition, international. First international trophy ever, in the history of sports. Not very interesting. So they decided to try and trip you guys up. I don't know if they've done a very good job with it, because this is a pretty great theme. Are you guys ready for the category?
I'd like to challenge that for a second.
Okay.
What about the Olympics? Wouldn't that be the first international trophy? No,
because those are all medals.
Touche.
Ha ha! You thought you had me.
No. That was a genuine inquiry.
So yeah, this is the first trophy. Or President's Cup, I guess, first cup, international cup. Yeah. Anyhow, so you guys ready for your category? Bracing yourself. You've already turned off phones. There's no Wikipedia to save you now. Your category, given to you by Pitchers Be Crazy, So in case you're upset about this, you can go see them at one of their shows. And
We'll find them.
Yeah, punch them in the face or in the throat.
In the
That
throat,
would really
yep.
get them. Oh, they would God. That would really upset them. 80s cartoons. See, I feel like you've got a shot at this. Like, I think you've got a puncher's chance on these. They're not easy, but I feel like 80s cartoons that's kind of like the high point of cartoons, right? Like, isn't that like when cartoons like really hit their stride?
I think cartoons in the 80s didn't give a shit.
Right. They just,
So, we got some amazing content.
cartoons in the 80s were amazing because they would like make toys first and then be like, we got to sell these toys. We should make a cartoon. Like
Let's
that's
stretch this out into
And then
13
it was-
episodes.
then it just became ridiculous. So let's get started without further ado to see how well you guys do on 80s cartoons. And as Victor would usually say, please, God, just get one right. If you do, you get to pick a prize from Uncle Archie's Box of Fun, which I got a good feeling about this. All right, let's start off. Muppet Babies. You know Muppet Babies?
Yes.
Ran for 7 years from 1984 to 1991. Named the only Muppet invented for the show that was never seen as a real-life Muppet. There's one that there was not a real Muppet ever made. It was only on the show. It's tricky because there's
It's-
Kermit. You know that one was a real
I
one.
know there's a Gonzo-ish baby. There's something smaller.
Something smaller.
It's a baby one.
That crawled.
Yeah, I mean they're all babies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's Muppet Babies. So that was the theme. There was a baby Kermit. There was like a baby Miss Piggy. I think there was a baby Gonzo. But there was one baby that didn't exist in Sesame Street or anything else. It just made it on the show and never made an appearance in real life. So there's no actual Muppet, where all the others actually have, puppets that exist in real life.
I actually like the Muppet Babies better, so I should know this
I
than
kn-
the
I know.
actual Muppets.
What is
Yeah.
wrong with you?
Bad memory. Too many years.
It was that face melting section.
Yeah. I melted my brain instead.
Any guesses?
No, I don't know.
Darian's like, I'm not even in.
No, I'm picturing them, but I don't know their names.
Oh no!
yeah.
So you're like
I don't remember their names.
The one with
The one, yeah.
It had the
It was.
Can
it
we
was
say
the
the color? It was kind of
triangle.
pinkish, right?
pinkish. And I don't know that it was terribly pinkish. I'm colorblind, so I'm not the guy probably. But I don't think this one. I think it was more like the orangey-ish color that a lot of Muppets are. All right, I have a feeling you guys don't know. Do you want to throw something out there?
No.
No, it's not the name. Skeeter.
Oh,
Skeeter never made it into the real world.
Skeeter.
Skeeter was just a Muppet baby, and that's it. And Muppet Babies were actually inspired by a segment of Muppets Take Manhattan. There was a baby section in that movie, and then they made the whole series off of that. Good series, though, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely enjoyed that. All right, so first one down. We didn't get that. You got 5 more to go. I think we've got a shot here. What series did not begin officially until December of '89, although actually originated on the Tracy Ullman Show as a series of shorts?
You know it too.
Yeah.
It's the one that I do know for sure because
Yeah?
I remember when it happened. The Simpsons.
That's it. Yeah. All right. Yes. I had a feeling that was going to be the easiest of them, but I tried to disguise it at least a little bit. So you at least had to be a big fan to know. All right. So you've got one. Let's see if you can do better. Right. We'll keep going. All right. Autobot leader Optimus Prime's name is derived from 2 Latin words meaning what? Yeah. You're
Optimus
like,
Prime.
yeah, Optimus Prime.
That name
Yeah.
first. And Optimus is the best first.
That's it. Best and first. Yeah, that's his name. Best first.
So it's a Latin question, actually.
Yeah, but it had to do with
But
the
yeah, no,
cartoon.
it's great.
So, all right, I figured it would give somebody a shot who was like, I never watched cartoons. I just studied Latin my entire childhood.
This is my moment.
Yes. Oh my God. It's all come to this. All right. Based off the popular 80s sitcom of the same name, what cartoon featured the lovable and furry Gordon Shumway?
Can you repeat the whole thing?
Based off of the popular 80s sitcom of the exact same name, what cartoon featured the lovable and furry Gordon Shumway?
No clue. Do you?
His name was only revealed in the cartoon, just so you know. He was known by a different name in the show.
Alf.
That's it.
Really?
It's Alf. You nailed it.
Alf is the trippiest one. Wow, I had no idea. They
Yeah,
had-
Gordon Shumway.
Okay, now it's starting to make sense. That was the alien Alf. That's his name. Oh.
Alf is alien life form. That's so it was
a
a
pseudonym,
nickname.
yeah.
It was so yeah, that was a pseudonym for him. His it was not in the actual show. It never was said, but in the cartoon, it was real that his real name was Gordon Shumway, which I believe is also the name I think of someone who's on Pawn Stars, isn't it? I don't.
Also porn.
Porn Stars, maybe. Yeah, a weird
Shumway.
site. Don't go to that site. All right, God, you guys are just nailing it. This isn't even hard for you.
I
Just
gotta
like
say,
Gordon Shumway.
Yeah,
if we have time, I gotta say one thing.
yeah.
If this was Jeopardy category, this would be the only thing I could probably get.
So we just happen to nail your wheelhouse, is what you're saying.
Because I don't think I watched cartoons much afterwards,
Yeah.
but I did definitely watch a lot in the 80s. So
Very
I'm
good.
lucky in this case that this is, I think, Pitches Be Crazy.
Yeah. So maybe you have to go and go to the show and be like, thank you. This one's going to be tough. Mark Muller wrote the Chippendale Rescue Rangers theme song and Jennifer Page's 1998 one-hit wonder Crush. He also wrote one of the catchiest cartoon theme songs of the 80s for what cartoon?
Jim and the Holograms?
Oh, that's good. That is a good guess. Do you have a different guess?
Reading Rainbow.
That is not a cartoon.
They had cartoons on there when they illustrated the stories.
That is
That's
that's
fair.
a good point
That
because it is
fair.
a catchy tune too.
yeah.
That is, yeah, it's a very catchy tune. DuckTales.
Oh, wow.
Because,
I was going to guess that.
yeah,
All right.
because what comes after DuckTales? DuckTales.
Ooh.
Yeah, everyone knows that. Like, if anybody says DuckTales in your head, you go, ooh. It's,
No, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't stop it. All right. So, not that one, but still 3 so far. Last one, let's see if you can get more right than wrong. The words "the real" had to be added to this cartoon's name because another studio owned the rights to the original name, which matched an 80s blockbuster movie. So the words "the real" were prepended to this 80s blockbuster movie's name because the rights to that name were owned by a different cartoon company. They actually launched one by that name too. Just wasn't very popular.
So that's the name of the movie, not the cartoon. I mean,
Both. So it was the name of a movie, very popular movie, and then they made a cartoon that was not popular, and then they made a cartoon that was popular called
The real adventures of something.
Nope, just The Real. Just The Real.
The real adventures of something.
Nope. Just The Real. Just The Real something.
Chipmunks or something.
The Real Chipmunks.
I was thinking Chippendales, Chipmunks.
Yeah. The Real Chippendales, totally different cartoon.
That's after midnight.
Do you have any guess?
Does it have to do with ducks? No, not ducks. No, I don't know.
Not to do with ducks.
Okay.
That's the weirdest 20 questions ever. Like, is it a mineral? Does it have to do with ducks? No, Ghostbusters, The Real Ghostbusters.
Oh.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
There was a cartoon called The Real Ghostbusters based off of, obviously, the movie of the same name. So, hey, even you batted 500 on something we weren't sure you even got one right. So you did everything you need. So I think each of you get a prize at this point. So let's pull out the box of fun. You guys get that. While you're doing this,
I really like the box, I have to say.
yeah, it's fun.
But I don't think that's part of the deal.
You
So
want to grab one as well? There you go. So while you're opening those up, go ahead. Let's figure out what are we going to do for a category for our next guests. What pain are you going to inflict on them? What are we thinking?
are we trying to make it hard for them?
It's up to you. If you want to give them an easy one, that's up to you as well.
Will they be musicians?
Yes, they will be musicians. I shouldn't tell you that. I should just make you have to do it blindly.
What about keeping with the 80s thing, like hair bands or something? Something corny. But I don't know. That's not that hard.
Yeah, that wouldn't be.
No. Darian, what did you get as your prize?
I got a semi-patriotic whistle.
It's red and blue, but no white.
No white.
Which
Well, it's stars on it.
it does have stars.
Stars on it.
And how about you, Lisa? What'd you get?
I got a ring with a game on it.
It's like a maze.
With yeah. It's what do you call it? Those things that the kids have
Cookie catchers.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I don't know. I don't know what the kids are up to these days.
No,
Oh.
those kids, those stressed out.
Oh, the fidget spinners.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a fidget spinner,
Ring.
but
finger.
primitive version.
Oh, okay. All right. So we need this theme. What are we doing? We're running out of time. We got to get to your stories too. What do you got for a category?
Pop culture.
Pop culture is really big. That's really huge. I could do it, but that seems like a gigantic one. You want to trim it down a little?
This
This is why you
I
have
was
to-
thinking about like computer games,
Computer
like
games?
that were on.
You
yeah,
want to go with the
something-
80s again?
Early video games.
Okay, early video
Yeah.
games. I like it. Early video games. So next week you will have to listen in to see how our next guest deals with questions of early video games. You guys did great. 3 out of 6. Fantastic.
We in there.
One of our highest scores. Although I admit it was probably pretty easy. So without further ado, let's move on and find out a little about you guys from the near and far. So you said you wanted to definitely get to far, and we're running a little short on time. So let's start there. You guys said your far story is something about a trip to a music store. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
All right, Keith, listen, it's like this.
Yeah,
The pyramid scheme must emit some type of vibe, some type of essence.
I can smell it. Right here, I can smell that essence.
There's a few essences going on
yeah,
right now.
no, it's like a fine perfume.
Yeah,
It's sandalwood.
exactly. That's how we pull you in.
Yeah.
No, we walk into the store. You all must be a band. We're greeted with kindness. We're greeted with assumption.
They were like,
They
"Hmm,
knew.
you look talented."
They just knew.
Yeah,
they
they
just knew. We tell them who we are. We're the pyramid scheme. They say, oh, they're infatuated with the name instantly.
Sure.
Boom.
Right.
Do you remember this?
The details are falling.
Okay, well,
But, yeah.
we may or may not have went in there already knowing what we wanted.
Okay.
But, they opened the doors to us. They opened their shop. They gave us choice, first pick of anything we wanted. We ended up finding a nice amplifier to, amplify our sounds as a band would need to do.
You would need to, especially playing electric guitar.
Oh, there we go.
Super important, or it's just really twangy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
We, they see that we're making a purchase in their fine establishment, and they
Yeah.
proceed to give us a beautiful, beautiful, deal.
Excellent. Great deal.
Because they're into the pyramid scheme
Right.
on the condition that we go scheme some money and cut them in on it. Now,
Scheme some
exactly.
money? Okay.
Their words.
Yes.
Let's not incriminate anyone.
Okay. Yeah.
I think they were 100% serious in this monologue that they then, said to my ear as we were making this purchase. I cut a deal with them on how we would scheme together, and a hand was shaken, and out of the store we walked with an amplifier.
How much did you get off of this amplifier?
Well, we got the amplifier.
Just no money exchange.
I'm not saying it was no money exchange, but we got the amplifier.
But you did get the
There
amplifier.
might have been a plastic swipe.
There might have been a plastic swipe. All right.
You forgot to mention I also got a free T-shirt. I don't know.
What?
if
No,
that
there were
one-
many T-shirts.
Wow.
There were many T-shirts. We were clothed. We got clothed. We got amplified.
Do we know anything about this scheme? Are you allowed to share any details of the scheme, or are you scheming us right now?
Details still pending.
Details still pending. So just the name alone is getting you discounts on
The
things.
name
'cause-
alone got them very excited.
What? That's crazy. No wonder you picked this. Did they know there's an I instead of a Y in it?
They
Maybe-
might have figured out. We didn't have stickers to adorn on them.
Oh my goodness. Well, next time you'll have to tell us your nearest story. All right. Did you guys have a good time?
Yes.
Great time.
Again,
Thank you.
everybody, if you want to check them out, go up to www.pyramidscheme.com. We are out of time for today. Things coming up this week. Thursday, April 26th, Pyramid Scheme is down at the Dewdrop Inn in Washington, D.C. You guys are doing an EP release for that, so check that out. Anthony Dante is at the Velvet Lounge in Washington, D.C. Friday, April 27th, Jerome Williams at Midlands in Washington, D.C. Sam Cooper and the Sleepwalkers are sleepwalking over to Flora in Richmond, Virginia. Sunday, April 29th, Repco at Auto Bar in Baltimore, Maryland. Tuesday, May 1st. Mayday, mayday, mayday. Pyramid Scheme at Black Cat in Washington, D.C. Anthony Dante at the Black Squirrel in Vienna, Virginia. Please, we cannot do this without you. Like everything. Review us. Thank you to everyone. Most of all, thanks to Pyramid Scheme for wasting a perfectly good hour with us. This has been another wasted hour. And if you just realized that, don't blame us. We warned you.